So, one of the questions that I get a lot is, when will I feel AI? When is it going to change my life or change things for me? And I was reflecting on this question and I was like, it's already changed everything for me personally. Like, my entire career is based on it. My YouTube channel is based on it. I've got new friends because of it. And I've got new business opportunities, new connections because of AI. My hobbies center around AI, which was not true a few years ago. Now, in my personal case, it's because I very deliberately decided to go all in on AI. I started just before the pandemic, and then during the pandemic, I started writing my books, and GPT-3 came out, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So then I'm talking to other people, so some friends of mine that are, trying to get into AI, or, trying to follow in my footsteps or do something similar. Other people that I've met, people in their career who were, maybe they were in, like web product management, and then they switched to AI product management. Some lawyer friends of mine who, they're very deliberately using AI as much as possible in their practice. And so it occurred to me that it's actually kind of up to you on an individual level as to how much you want AI to impact your life. Now, obviously, not everyone is going to become an AI YouTuber, but there's no reason that a lot of people can't use AI now to augment their career, to pivot their career, to advance their career. Lots of people use it here and there, like using it for relationship coaching and all sorts of stuff. I've had Patreon supporters and others say oh yeah, I use this and it helps me communicate with my wife better and my family better, and that, yada, yada, yada. So, but taking a step back, I think that what people mean, or one of the things that people might mean when they ask, when am I going to feel it? When is it going to change everything? And I think that what they're hoping for is that at some point AI is just going to drastically change their life, whether or not they try to make it happen. And to that question, I don't know. Certainly, I think that some people's lives are already being dramatically impacted by AI, and not necessarily for the better. And so what I mean by that is, I think that the impact that AI is having on jobs is being simultaneously hyped and downplayed. And so what I mean by that is, the positive sides are being hyped. So company saves 90% on this, and someone becomes 200% more productive on that. That's being hyped up. But tens of thousands of jobs being lost is being downplayed. Techno-optimism is being hyped because it's good. And this all serves a very simple corporate narrative, which is what narrative is best for the bottom line for corporations and governments and everyone else. And the most convenient narrative right now is techno-optimism and accelerationism. And I'm not saying that it's necessarily intrinsically good or bad, because the core assertion of techno-optimism or accelerationism is technology is good, therefore more technology is better. I by and large agree with that, but I do not agree with that in the most extreme manifestations, which says more technology is good, therefore throw caution to the wind and go all in, because all technology is dual use and all technology has unintended consequences. That's just a realistic view. Also, if you see the smoke in the background, that's my neighbor burning some leaves. So I suspect that some people are experiencing AI dramatically changing their life in a bad way already. Now, when is it going to change everything for the better? One example could be if AI helps us cure aging, end aging. people often don't believe me when I say like, oh yeah, like I think that probably within the next year or two we're going to start to see more and more rejuvenation therapies coming out. Everything is according as I have foreseen. So I could be a little bit early, you know, like what's his name from that movie, you know, I might be early, but I'm not wrong. And I feel that on a deep level. So, but yeah, like, you know, 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, we're going to start seeing more longevity medications. And a lot of people think that, oh, the elites are going to keep it for themselves. But the thing is the Biden administration just created a $2.4 billion package with one of the explicit objectives of attacking aging directly. And so here's the thing is, one, there's no immediate utility to locking something up, because what I mean by that is it would take a tremendous amount of manipulation, narrative control, regulatory capture, and other kinds of manipulation. It would just cost so much for people to say, you know what, I'm gonna make sure that you peasants never get a hold of rejuvenation therapies, because you know, can you imagine just how many, like, there would be like riots in the streets if these therapies existed and they were accessible and affordable. But the thing is on the flip side, there is a tremendous amount of utility for looking for cost-effective rejuvenation therapies. You know, one of the kind of the status quo narratives is like, well, just imagine that you stay healthier for longer and then when you die it's sudden. But people are slowly starting to come around to the fact that, like, if you cure aging, then like death becomes optional. So I suspect that we're going to start seeing more and more medicines, not just rejuvenation, but healthcare medications coming out in the next few years. There's already been a few that have been that have end-to-end pipelines that are discovered by AI. Now the next thing is going to be like, okay, well, when can I quit my job? There was a post on Reddit that just happened yesterday. I think it was on r/Singularity, where the guy's like, I'm quitting my job because of all the news. And he's like, you know what, whatever, just heck with it. I'm gonna enjoy the ride now. And you know what, more power to him. I hope it works out well for him. Now there are some other ways that you might feel AI sooner rather than later. You know, like I said, I've personally already gone all in. AI helps with my videos, it helps with my editing, it helps with all the preparation that I do. Like, I'm a one-man show because of AI. But I think that probably this time next year, because we have the gigantic token windows coming, and more are coming, is probably by this time next year, you're going to have a service where you just like, you get personalized books, and it's just like, heck, it might even be that the book is written as you read it this time next year. So like, imagine you're on your Kindle or your Nook or whatever, or reading on your phone. Man, dude is smoking me out. It's all right, those neighbors are good, but the prevailing wind is not happy. But yeah, like, I can just imagine that, like, you're on your phone and you're reading a book, and you've got the camera's running, and so it's like doing emotional inference and detecting how engaged you are with a you know, one sentence at a time, and then it's using that to steer the narrative as you're reading, to personalize and optimize a book for you. So I would expect to see something like that, at least a prototype, by this time next year. So that's like on the entertainment side. I already talked about healthcare, I already talked about work, I just talked a little bit about entertainment. It'll be a little bit longer before we see it in video games. Like, video game engines are not going to be created by AI for a long time, but there's already people in the gaming industry talking about having missions and dialogue and stuff that is instantiated kind of on the fly, so you can create a more living, breathing world. And there's lots of integrations already happening, like mods and stuff, like, you know, hooking up ChatGPT to Skyrim, and so then you have NPCs that you can just talk to. So that's coming. I mean, that's already here. It's not fully baked into the gaming experience, but I suspect it'll be a default thing again by this time next year. So you're gonna have video games that are more dynamic, that you can just go with. Actually, it just occurred to me that maybe having AI drive NPCs and stuff in like the Unreal Engine, that might be the best way to do like fully digital movies, is rather than having the AI render the images, which they're good at that, but it might be easier to have, you know, all the visual effects and stuff handled by something like the Unreal Engine, and then you have AI writing the characters and writing the script and writing the scenes and controlling the camera. Huh. So yeah, that might be how like the first like Hollywood, you know, grade, you know, 90-minute movie is produced, is in conjunction with a gaming engine, because that basically allows the AI to be a puppet master. So I don't see any reason why that couldn't be here this time next year. But yeah, I guess just briefly going back to the idea of like, when is it going to change everything for you? Unemployment is still really low, and it might be low for the foreseeable future because we're going to see some jobs dislocation, but there are also new jobs being created by AI. So the biggest question is that going to be a permanent trend? Is as some jobs get destroyed, an equal or greater number of new jobs get created? I personally don't think that's going to pan out in the long run, particularly as the capabilities of AI ramps up, because then some of those new jobs that get created, the new labor that needs to be done, it's just going to be cheaper to have AI do it eventually. So we'll see how it pans out. Anyways, those are some thoughts, post-Thanksgiving Saturday thoughts. So let me know what you think in the comments, like, subscribe, etc., etc. You know the drill. Have a good one.